stones in and put some dirt.
Okay, you've got little ones left there.
Yeah, and a little one over there, a little one over there.
Well, that's lovely.
And they all got bulbs in the springtime. There's tulips and irises and everything
You
you can
know,
imagine.
a rock garden in front of her place, and she has this, and she thinks it's the vase. And it grows about this tall, and it's moving, it's growing right out of her rock garden at the front of the house.
You call it vervace.
Yes, V-I-V-A-C.
See, this is so shadowy, and we're going to put in something next year. Like there's all bulbs in there. Once the
Yes.
bulbs die down, we put in these little.
Yes.
But then maybe something like that will work in the shade.
Yeah.
It's quite shady. When we In fact, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking some dirt that's now 8 years old from the compost, and so we compost them as much as we can. And we just try to do everything we can with it. Matter of fact, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking some dirt that's now 8 years old from the compost, and so we compost them as much as we can. And we just try to do everything we can with it.
And take the colors and put it so that, like over there, I've got in the one plant I've got pink and the lilac and white all coming out of the same one.
Beautiful?
And here's the lilac, thick, coral.
Yeah.
Now see, these are shaded enough. Mine are in the sun, and they're just about done.
Oh, there's hers in the sun. They're 6 feet tall.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, this beautiful color. These are just starting to go, as you can tell.
Yes.
Yesterday, for the first time, I've seen bees on the bee balm. There's such a shortage of them, but we had maybe 8 or 10 yesterday.
Very few bees in the garden.
I know.
Very, very few, which is really frightening because
I leave lamb's ear in the garden because the bees love lamb's ear.
Oh.
Yeah, because sometimes I've tried to work in the garden and have to get away because of the bees.
Oh.
So,
I would love to have that problem. We don't. We have very few bees here.
Welcome to the MacNeil Flower Garden.
I hope you enjoy it. And it's better over here. There you see the whole
oh, I
hill.
see. Yeah. Isn't that gorgeous as a whole?
It's better to walk back
Wow. It is a big buck, the big bird. And you have all of this to cut.
But these here.
The furthest out garden you see is a wild garden. We leave it natural. And right now that's the purple strife that's there. In the springtime there's a little yellow bush that we picked up on the Bosley Road. And that's all in the front part. But during the summertime there's always something coming, and there'll be goldenrod later. But we leave that just absolute natural.
Very nice. Hello, dog. How are you?
Hey. No, he doesn't want to throw the ball for you. Junk of the flowers from here, you don't see the damage that was done. At least you see some of the color.
I've been working on these. These are the coral ones.
See, there's the height. If you look at height, is as tall as Sylvia. But right now with the rain, they've drooped over. With any luck, when the sun comes back up, it'll dry those flowers and they'll come back at that height. That's my sister, 9 years ago when we first moved in, brought us a bunch of pussy willows that she bought at the local St. Catherine's market and brought them up as a gift. And after a week or two, they started to get a little bit of a root. So I thought, I'll plant them. This is 9 years later, that little bunch of pussy willows has turned into that.
Good heavens.
The yellow flowers were in the original bouquet that she brought. And so they naturally got planted with the pussy willow. So they've been there Originally, as the pussy willow was growing, it appeared like the flowers were part of the pussy willow tree. Now that the pussy willow tree has got that tall, the flowers are quite separate.
Okay.
Yeah, they got quite severely burned by the frost. And this little one here, which is the same plant, I didn't think we were going to get it surviving at all, but it started to come back. We fed it water and fed it food. And it's flowered a little bit, but the nursery told us that it'll take 2 or 3 years for the flowers to come back fully. Just the weight, the flower head holds so much water. But after the rainstorm yesterday, it's going to take a bit of time. Hopefully they'll recuperate and stand back up again. The little ones that you see over here, they're little shoots that we've taken in. This is their first year. They will eventually grow as large as these plants. Again, mostly around the large phlox on the upper level. The Shasta daisies in the center. And then of course for fall time, there's 2 or 3 of the sedums in there, which will turn purple flowers in the fall. Amazingly enough, this lower garden got more frost damage when that cold snap we had earlier or later in the spring, because it's a lower level. Things that in the upper garden didn't get bothered by this frost. Even, for example, you can just see over here there's some ferns. Just now are coming back. They got burned very badly. And that was because this is lower, cold goes down. A lot of this, but
And of course, I was in I know what to go through. It's a challenge.
The Stu's here now. The Stu's having it where he was switching and working over there. He's covered in dirt and they're just handfuls. They're not letting him see the pictures.
a good example of the color mix that Sylvia tries. If you could look in the center there, the phlox, the purple, there's a coral, and a magenta, and over further a very fine misty mauve color. That is, she's planted them various types together.
Very nice.
No apples. That frost killed, there was no bees when the flowers were out, so it just didn't get fertilized. And the same with the crabapple tree here. Also flowers, no crab apples. No bees at the time it flowered, or other pollinating insects.
Oh, for the Christmas party, yeah. We organized that. This is the second year we've organized it, and this year we had to go to Toronto because our son came in and there was problems, so so we had to go to Toronto. And it's another son. But we tried to get it organized. Now we're starting to have people say, like Jamie, well, remember the Christmas thing? It's only August.
I think maybe they should get some candy canes on next year.
You must have a lot of mowing grass to do.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as I was mowing the other day, you noticed how it's cut on an angle?
Yeah.
Halfway through, I didn't realize what had happened, but a support arm broke on the platform holding the two mower blades, so it was cutting low on one side. That's why you see those marks. They'll grow out of there again, but I've got to take the mower in and have it repaired.
Medical. She was getting her PhD, and she was having problems sleeping for the exam, so the doctor gave her some. She coming back. So we went to go and get him in Toronto, and so I'm afraid that our Christmas thing wasn't quite.
Well, you know, it was lovely though. But
None on there had a display.
I remember my mother used to hand the crab apples.
You have to do that.
And put clothes in.
Yeah.
She always put things. And somebody said to me, "What's clothes?" And I said, "Yes, I can put clothes in my house."
Both of them from frost. They were badly burned,
Yes.
but they came back and look at. I've never seen that particular plant there as that large or with that large of a flower.
Isn't
That's
that
how far
something?
that back it came from.
See, they had some of those down at Home Depot, but they didn't call them Astilbe, and I know that's what they are. I forget what they called them. But I'm a little Scotch by nature. I didn't buy one. I thought I'm going to wait and they'll come down because there was lots of them there. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you plant them in the fall, they'll come up and they're probably maybe half the price.
That's what I was
In
thinking.
another month, actually, all the sales come in for all
Yeah.
the perennials, and that's the best time to plant your garden if you're going to plant it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful garden.
Yeah,
Just a
pretty well
nature.
plan from the fall time to what you're going to do next spring and try to have it in place.
How do you keep your sunflower under control?
I'm sorry,
The little sunflower plants, the yellow.
that's a daisy, a small.
That's a daisy.
Yeah.
We're having
Okay.
problems with these daisies. They've gone really willowy on us this year.
But this
Wow.
daisy, now it's interesting again how the Shasta daisies on the far side, the whites,
Yes.
they've survived fairly well. But the first storm that we had this year practically destroyed these, and they all laid down, and then they grew outwards.
Oh wow.
So it's a mass of daisies, but all horizontal,
Yes.
not vertical.
And what's really been bad this year is zinnias.
Oh.
Usually the garden is full of zinnias. This year it was too dry, too hot, and the frost too.
Yeah,
And
when-
put everything in.
It went from that cold snap to then too dry.
Yeah. So you didn't do these weeds. Brian did these weeds.
But he did those. I did the top.
You see, there's our compost. And that's just the leaves and the branches and all the things come out of the garden have turned into perfect soil.
Great.
That pile there we have wanted to get ready for next spring so that we can use it before the flowers come up in one of our gardens. We can put this on the top of it. What he's had to do is to take the top off to get down to the original 8-year-old. Then he'll put that back in and carry on successively getting the old stuff from the bottom. And then putting the newer stuff down and putting new stuff on top of it.
Very nice.
It's 32 feet long, 8 feet.